everybody, Dr. Nelson here. This is an interactive video lesson about scale drawings and maps. So what's going to happen is you're going to take notes with me. So whatever I write down on this page, you copy down on your notes page. And then you have a chance to try a problem on your own. And then at the end you can see how you did. All right? So here's the problem we're trying to solve. We want to know the distance from Melbourne to Auckland on this map. All right? And notice they give us a big hint about how to do that. And it's right here. Do me a favor and circle this right here. All right, this right here is the scale that they use to measure the distance from Melbourne to Auckland. So what that means is notice that there's a grid and that the distance from this point to this point is 2 boxes. So we're going to call that 2 units. So we know the scale is going to be for every 2 units. It represents, in real life, 1,000 kilometers. All right. So again, the 2 units is the map or the drawing. So I'm going to write the map here. And the 1,000 kilometers represents the actual or real life. All right, so to figure out the distance, what we're going to do is we're going to make a little table over here. So again, what I write down, you copy down too. And I'm going to put the map or the drawing distance over here. This is going to be the map. And this is going to be the actual real life distance. Just like that. So again, based on the scale, we know that for every 2 units, it represents 1,000 kilometers in real life. All right. Now that we have that taken care of, now what we have to do is we have to measure the number of units from Melbourne to Auckland. So I'm going to start right here. And I'm going to count how many boxes we have. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm actually going to label those. So here's 1 unit, 2, 3, 4, and 5 units. And I'm going to put that amount under here, under the map category. So 5 units. All right. Now we got to figure out how many actual kilometers that's going to represent. So in order to do this, we're going to have to come up with something called the scale factor, right? Or the K value. And the way you do that is I want to know 2 times what number will give me 5, right? So the way you figure that out is you actually do the reverse. We're going to divide 5 by 2. So down here, if I do 5 divided by 2, well, I know 2 goes into 5 2 times with 1 left over. So our scale factor is going to be 2.5 or 2.5. So to go from 2 to 5, we're going to multiply it by 2.5. Now that we know that, we can now use that to get the actual distance. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, we're going to multiply. Again, that's a multiplication sign. We're going to multiply 1,000 by 2.5. And 1,000 by 2.5 is 2,500 kilometers. And that right there is our answer. All right. So what I want you to do, I want you to pause the video and try the your turn now problem. And when you're done, hit play. You can see how you did. All right, good luck. All right, welcome back. Let's see how you did with this practice problem. All right, so for this problem, you're trying to determine the actual distance between the posts. So that's represented with this dotted line, right? And we know the scale is right here, right? So let me grab my pen. All right, so our scale is for every 2 units, it's 3 feet. So I'm going to write down scale. So for every 2 units on the map, it represents 3 feet in real life. All right. So again, I'm going to make my little table over here like this. Again, this is going to be the map. And this one right here is going to be the actual. All right, and again, we know that on the map, every 2 units represents 3 feet. All right, now that we have that ratio, now we can figure out the distance of the line. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So the distance between the poles is 10 units. All right, and we're going to use that now to figure out the number of feet. All right, so remember, to do that, we need to figure out what times 2 gives us 10. All right, and again, you got to do 10 divided by 2. So when I do 10 divided by 2, that gives us a scale factor of 5, right? So that means I'm multiplying this side by 5. So I'm going to multiply this side by 5. And when I do that, 3 times 5 gives us 15. So the distance between the goalposts is 15 feet. All right, how'd you do?